and lift themselves they did. The following season, Leeds put together a record unbeaten run of 29 games, suffered only 4 defeats, and claimed the 1974 League Championship in some style.
A man! Got to get back. Need some get back. Hey back. Hey back. That's it. Hey back. Again. A man.
We were just playing absolutely superb. And he had said we'll go to the end of the season undefeated. And we all said that. And then we got rolling, we got winning, and we kept winning away very easily.
After, I think it was about 26 games, I think we were playing at QPR or somewhere, and we drew the match, having been in front. And he called a meeting on the Monday. So I thought, what's this all about? So we went in there and he says, right, he said, I'm going to tell you now and you listen. If you lot are not going to do it for me, I'll bring players in who will. And we'd just gone like 26, 27 games without a defeat.
If you lot aren't going to perform for me, I'm going to get the checkbook out. And we're going to get some new faces. And you sat there and you think, well, we've lost 1 game in 29.
There was always the possibility of being replaced in the team, even though you all knew that Don knew what his best team was, which is, again, a little different from today, perhaps. But 2 things, again, the World Cup before, they've just won the World Cup, they're together on the Sunday morning after it, and the squad are breaking up, and Geoff Hurst, who just scored the only hat-trick in World Cup final history, turns around and says, see you in September, Alf. And Ramsey looked across at him and said, if selected. You're not even as good as your last game. So Don was among an innovator in that way too, that the place was never secure, no matter how famous or established you might think you are.
The squad of players Boss has here now, for me that only happens once in a lifetime. I think Leeds United, probably when all of us are finished, they'll probably have a good team, but they'll not have a great team. This only happens for me, once in a lifetime.
And maybe Don Revie shared those thoughts. He knew that his side, built and nurtured over a 13-year period, couldn't go on winning forever, and after securing 2 league titles and 4 cup successes, the timely offer of the England manager's job was enough to lure him away. He left convinced that the club would build on his legacy rather than closing the door on it.
First of all, there's the boss who's right behind us. He's the one who fills our hearts with pride. And we play all the way for Leeds United. Elland Road is the only place for us. With heart and soul for the goal that's clearly sighted. We're out to toast each other from that silver cup.
In the summer of 1974, as Don Revie was hurrying off for the England job, he made a firm recommendation to the club chairman Manny Cousins that one of his key players of the past decade, Johnny Giles, should take his place in the manager's office.
I saw in the paper that Don was gone with England, and actually my contract was due for renewal, and I thought, well, I better get home and see Don before he goes. And when I got back, he said that he was recommending me for the job, which was a total surprise to me. Total surprise.
I felt that Johnny Giles was the man to take over when I left. Liverpool have shown it's the right path to take. When Shankly left, Bob Paisley took over. Now Bob Paisley's left, Joe Fagans took over. Because they know the system, they know the training routines, and they know how the lads play and how to react and everything about the club. And Johnny Giles has been 10 years with me, and I thought he'd have been the right choice to take over.
It goes, Giles! A goal! A beautifully worked goal!
To all the players, Johnny should have taken over. Unfortunately, I don't think Billy thought that. I think Billy, to a degree, had thought that he was being brought forward to do the job. And I think it came as a great shock to Billy when Don recommended John. Now Billy, I believe, had said that he was interested in the job himself. And I think what happened, that created some doubt in the chairman's mind, thinking, well, how will the team react if we put John in? This is Billy Bremner, the captain.
So the Leeds board declined to appoint from within and instead looked without. In fact, were they out of their minds? They chose the club's most outspoken critic, Brian Clough. It was like inviting King Herod to babysit.
To replace the best manager on record, or by record, in the Football League, then obviously Leeds had to get somebody that was, you know, slightly special.
4 to 5 years before he joined Leeds United after I left, he criticised Leeds United's system of playing and this and that, and they looked every trick in the book, and he criticised me and he criticised the players. So what board of directors could go out really and bring a man in who would slam Leeds United out of sight?
I have sat here now for approximately 2.5 hours, and I am not replying to anything or anybody until I have had a wee. And I'm being very serious. You get on your bloody feet, you go to the toilet, you get a beer, and then if you've not got to get up early in the morning, get back and listen.
2 years prior to joining Leeds, the then Derby manager had arrived late at a gala awards night. He'd missed Peter Lorimer receiving the Sportsman of the Year trophy from the Prime Minister, Harold Wilson. And with Lorimer having left early to travel to a game, Clough simply couldn't resist a public attack.
I've come along to pay tribute to sport. I've come along to pay tribute to Peter Lorimer, who I didn't know had the award.
Just before he was due to speak, he stood up and he said, well, you lot have kept me waiting, I'm going to keep you lot waiting. And he went to the toilet. And then he came back, 10 minutes, Cloughie being Cloughie, and then he absolutely destroyed Peter Lorimer.
Despite the fact he falls as many times, when he hasn't been kicked, despite the fact that he protests as many times when there is nothing to protest about, despite the fact, yes,
I didn't actually hear his actual speech. It was only when the next morning all the papers were ringing me saying about this, about what Clough has said and what he's done, and he let his feelings go about Leeds. And I mean, personally, I'd always scored against his side, and so maybe he had a gripe against me. But I don't think for any time he actually criticised my ability. But you know, that was Brian, and we knew that at the time, and as I said, how they could possibly employ him as the manager was totally amazing.